Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Brandon Shank, and welcome to the Brandon Shank Podcast. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Brandon Shank Podcast. Great to have you with us. Excited about today's show. Excited about some things that I feel like are going to maybe change the way you live. Welcome, my man, Corey in the corner.
In the corner again. I love it.
What's up, big dog? Hey, so this weekend's college football kickoff weekend. I got the Coast Guard representing. My cousin, Michael Shank, plays for the Coast Guard.
Oh, nice.
Represent Michael. Go out and do your thing, baby. You
Love
know, keeping that Shank family bloodline in college football.
There's got to be one, right?
Gotta be one,
There's gotta
man.
be one.
Yeah, he's out there, you know, doing his thing. So represent. Excited about this weekend. There's no baseball games for me this weekend, so I'm gonna kick it on Saturday, man. I haven't looked at my calendar because I'm scared to. I'm afraid that I'm going to have something to do. But if not, I'm going to be watching it all weekend long. So excited about it, man. We do have a doubleheader on Sunday, though. But Saturday, I'm good.
There you go.
So, hey, there's a big deal this week. You know, the Baltimore Ravens had not lost a preseason game in 8 years.
Oh, wow.
8. And they got defeated the other night by our third-string quarterback, Jake Fromm. The Commanders beat the Ravens. Now, I know what every fan's going to say. I already know what everybody's going to say. It's preseason. It doesn't matter. That's where you're wrong.
Yeah.
It does matter.
That does matter.
It does matter. 8 years, and we didn't try to break a record. We had our third-string quarterback in, you know what I mean? Yeah. And our kicker, Joey Sly, went out there and kicked a 49-yarder. I think it was a 49-yarder to win it. So this is the cool thing. So one of my buddies, I gave my so when you get season tickets, you get all the preseason games. And the downfall is you got to pay the same for preseason as you do regular season tickets.
Gotcha.
It's the same price.
Yeah.
So you pay for them anyway. So nobody really buys your preseason tickets because nobody really goes. I mean, people go, but they'll buy them at 20% of the cost.
Yeah.
So I was giving to my buddies. So I gave them to one of my buddies up in Northern Virginia. And he went and I saw him on TV. So when we got an interception at the end of the game to win it, we ran into the end zone and we were like celebrating. One of our buddies was there, and I was like, "Bro, we got TV seats."
Yeah.
He was like 5 rows up, just doing his thing. I said, "Bro, you wearing like khakis and a maroon shirt?" He's like, "Yep." I was like, "I just saw you on TV, dog." It was awesome, man.
That's funny.
So hopefully this fall, you'll see this beautiful face on national television. Not because I ran on the field.
Yeah.
You got tackled, but because we're celebrating in the end zone because we just, I don't know, maybe won a NFC championship game, whatever. I've been telling my wife all year, I was like, Washington has the potential to be the surprise team in the league this year because Sam Howell, our quarterback, everybody's sleeping on him because they don't know anything about him. He was a Gatorade High School Player of the Year, broke all kinds of records when he played for North Carolina. And it's like, well, he hasn't had a chance in the NFL yet. And so everywhere he's been great. And so he looked great the other night. And now everybody's saying, well, everybody talks about Dallas and Philly, and Washington may actually be good. I'm like, we were good last year. We had some bad games, but we beat Philly when they were undefeated, if people forget. But, you know, so I think, yes, I am a very tunnel vision fan. But we have a great defense, top 3 in the league, I think. So we'll see, man.
Yeah.
It'll be a good year, but here we go. It's football season. I'm excited.
Yeah.
You know,
it's coming fast.
It is coming fast, and so it's good. We had our baseball scrimmage last night. I was just telling Corey before we jumped on here, and didn't get home till super late, but it was so much fun. And I was like, man, I just love all the things right now. It's just great. And in fact, growing up, I never played fall ball. I played football in the fall and then baseball in the spring. So I never played fall baseball. But I've grown to love fall baseball as much, if not more, in the spring, just because the weather's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
It's just fun. It's different baseball.
Yeah.
It's fun though. I don't know. I love it. So
just the weather in general. I mean, I literally walked outside this morning to leave for work, and then I went back inside just to tell my boys, I'm like, y'all need to be outside today.
Dude, the Virginia Beach fall. So when I first moved here, I hated it because I'm used to like the Marylands or the Missouris where end of August, beginning of September, it's warm. But like mid to late September, it starts to get chilly. Mm-hmm. And then October is it's fall weather. And then you see everything changing. It's beautiful. Yeah. Well, down here, it's 80 degrees in September. Mm-hmm. And it's beautiful. Yeah. But it's not super humid. It's 80 degrees. And it's what they call an Indian summer. Yeah. The water's warm, 80 degrees. And I would say, well, everybody goes home. The tourists aren't here. But that's not really true. Virginia Beach stays busy year round. There's tons of festivals, tons of stuff going on, which I love. I think it's great. I love the city. I love that there's always commotion. There's always momentum. Yeah. And then down here, the leaves don't really change till like November. Mm-hmm. Like the week of Thanksgiving, I feel like is the most beautiful week in Virginia Beach if you want to see stuff change. And the colors are so vibrant because of the weather, you know? So We have nothing but woods behind our house, and it's just gorgeous, man. It's like the deepest yellows and deepest reds.
Yeah.
But that week of Thanksgiving is usually, and then stuff doesn't really fall. So our fall, what most people get in October, we get in December.
Yeah.
Stuff starts falling, and really not until January. The leaves are still in the trees.
Yeah, and fall seems more extended here than back in kind of like Western Maryland,
Absolutely.
where it's like fall in Western Maryland, where kind of we spent some time was like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, once October
winter.
hits and the corn mazes are done, like November is winter.
Yeah, exactly.
It gets super cold.
Yeah.
Winter, November and December, it feels like it gets dark early, super cold. It kind of gets like heavy. That feeling of like it's brisk. Everybody's starting to go inside. Everybody's eating apple butter. That's like November. But down here, November, man, it's popping. Like people are out at the beach. It's warm. And in fact, December, so when we did Christmas Eves, almost every year on Christmas Eve services, it's mid-70s and raining.
Yeah.
For like years, it was raining on Christmas Eve. But usually it's, high 60s, low 70s on Christmas Eve down here. Now, I don't necessarily love that because I like cold at Christmas.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you the amount of Christmas days, a lot, where it's been high 50s, low or 60s or low 70s where I'm grilling or I'm cooking, like smoking meat. Yeah. On Christmas Day, it's usually beautiful, not a cloud in the sky.
Yeah.
You're out smoking meat. And I used to hate that, but honestly, I kind of love it now.
I don't miss the cold. I miss the snow at times.
Yes.
That's what I miss.
But on Christmas Day, you have to admit, it's something, now that I've lived down here, this will be our 10th? When did we move down here? 2014. Was this 2023?
Yeah.
This will be my 9th Christmas.
There you go.
So now that we've been down here this long, for me, I love it when the kids open their stuff and then you have your breakfast, whatever. We always have a bunch of family over for like a big breakfast and we do like a throwdown and the kids can go outside and kind of start playing. Yeah. And it's beautiful out. It's like 60 degrees, 70 degrees, and it's beautiful out. So on Christmas Day, kids are outside just running around and enjoying themselves and having a good time. It's not like everybody's stuck in the house. Yeah. I don't know. It's just a cool...
I'm a big fan of in the cooler months. I'm a big fan of walks on the beach in the cooler months too. There's something you can wear a hoodie on the beach and just
pretty cool.
Walk it and you're barefoot.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'll tell you so when the first year we were here, we got snow and the beach iced over.
Oh wow.
So it was snow, but then it was like some sleet that came through.
Yeah.
So I took my boys out there and it was so weird because it was white all the way up to the water and then it turned brown where the water was, melting this ice away.
Yeah.
But you'd kick through the ice and you would see sand.
That's great.
It was just weird.
Yeah.
It was a weird thing.
Huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you wouldn't really think about that.
No. But it was cool. But anyway, so I the other day I was at the ATM and the only time I go to the ATM is when I go to my barber because they only take cash. So I went to the ATM and I got a bill out and it said, have you ever seen these? On the bill, it says, "Where's George?"
No.
You ever seen those? So basically you type in the web address and then you put in the ID number for the bill or whatever it is, whatever you call it. And then it tells you where that dollar bill has been.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had never seen these, so when I saw it, I was like, man, I'm going to give this a shot. I want to see where this thing has been. I'm thinking, who knows how long this thing's been in circulation? Who knows whose hands it's been in? Who knows how much it's traveled the country? So I'm pumped. I'm like, well, let's see, man. I'm interested to see how a bill travels over this country.
Yeah.
And how fast it goes from one place to the next, right? I was expecting to have some kind of epiphany. So I typed it in. I typed in the number. And it said, this bill originated 8 days ago in Virginia Beach. Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
This is the most disappointing thing I have ever been a part of in the history of my life.
Infant bill.
Yeah. I'm like, come on. Yeah. I was like, dude, don't put that on. Come on, man. If you're going to put "Where's George" on a bill, drive them to another state and drop them off.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that bill's not been to another country. It's not been out of this state.
It's probably in the same ATM.
Yeah.
I probably paid the barber and they put it back. Even though they might not even stock that ATM, but who knows, man?
That's cool. I like that though.
Yeah.
There's probably some parts where it's like, I really don't know. I don't want to know where this has been.
Bro, have you seen that meme where it's a Uber or not an Uber, it's a DoorDash? And it says, "Where's your DoorDash?" And it shows a guy, like it shows a bathroom stall and the DoorDash is sitting on the floor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't want to know.
I'm like, dude, on it, we never use DoorDash. Like Casey and I never use it. Yeah. And it's not for any particular reason. Like if I'm going to go out and get food, we usually go out. Like with all of our kids, we don't really order in because Casey's like, if I order, this is her thing, and I agree with her. If I'm going to go pay to eat out, I want to eat out so I don't have to clean up the mess.
Yeah.
That's Casey's thing.
Yeah.
So she's like, I'm not ordering food to bring home to have to clean up a mess.
Yeah.
She's like, I'll just make it. And I completely agree with that. So that's kind of our thing. Like if we order, we don't ever have, let's just order Chinese tonight. We never do that. We're like, well, let's go out to a restaurant because we don't want to clean up the mess. And people are like, well, you have to pay tip, but it's really worth it because we don't have to clean it up. You don't have to throw it away and do all the other stuff. So we don't ever get, we don't ever order in. We groceries, we never, hardly ever, we go to the grocery store every now and then, but like we always order them online. Like we'll go for certain things, like certain meats or vegetables that you want. But DoorDash we don't do. But after that, your boy ain't ever doing it.
Yeah. It's also really expensive. I mean, I know they got
those of you make money doing DoorDash. I love you and I believe in you. I think you're doing a great job. But that one guy who dropped it in the bathroom, you should be ashamed of yourself. You can do better, man.
That's gross.
Yeah, dude, nasty. Well, hey, you asked for it.
Don't blame me. You asked for it.
You asked for it. Hey, so did I get you on that one, or did you time it up good? Were you ready?
It was probably at 1 second. 1 second delay. I had to close my Where's George browser.
So this is what you're telling me. You were on it.
I was on it. I was ready.
Or you were delayed like normal, but your reflexes have gotten so much better, you're just ready.
Yeah, it's getting there.
You're ready.
It's getting there.
So I had a question for you. What is your favorite, when you think about school, because Virginia Beach going back to school next week. So all the parents said, yeah. So Virginia Beach going back to school. I posted something the other day on Instagram that I thought was hilarious, and it was a picture of a pencil sharpener. And it said, before Instagram and TikTok, this is where you showed off your new outfit and shoes.
Yeah, that's good.
And I mean, because for me, that was the thing. You're like, oh man, I gotta go to the pencil sharpener.
Yeah,
gotta let all these girls see my shoes. Let all these fellas see the outfit, right? And kids don't pride themselves in school outfits today like they used to. Like my boys, they rather wear wiki shirts and like booty shorts everybody wears. Is that appropriate to say?
Booty shorts? I mean, hey, they are what they are.
That may have for some people that may have a connotation that's not appropriate. For me, it literally just means shorts that are really low or really high.
Okay, really short.
Back in the day, that term was used for just one gender. Today, honestly, that term is used for all genders. So that's why I say that. Yeah. Like I'll say to Katie, I'm like, bro, you got them booty shorts on, dog. Like they're up at your booty, Anyway, so my boys are just like, yeah, give me a wiki shirt and a sweatshirt and some like booty shorts, and they wear those. And I say that like all y'all know what the kids are wearing. Those shorts that go halfway between their thigh. Yeah. And they just want like shoes. And so for me, it's like they have all that stuff and they just want shoes. So I just buy them shoes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's almost like comfort. Just comfort clothes where it's like, because my oldest Maddox, he can be this way too. It's like every day is just like, I just want sports shorts.
Yeah. It's comfort.
And, a ratty t-shirt.
Can you imagine if we went to school back in the day in a pair of Crocs? Tiny shorts.
I can't do Crocs, man.
Yeah, Crocs, tiny shorts, and a sweatshirt. Can you imagine the downfall?
I did wear a Fox Racing hoodie pretty much almost every day.
Well, hoodies are hoodies. They're timeless.
Also, shout out to Bradley Himmler. He's on our bus stop, a kid at our church, one of our neighbors' kids. Dude wears sweatpants and a hoodie. It can be 95 degrees outside, and he's sweatpants and a hoodie.
I don't know how you do this.
I'm like, bro. I mean, you're dedicated.
I was the kid that would wear shorts year round, and I lived in Oakland, Maryland, where we got 250 inches of snow a winter. Yeah. And this is why I wore shorts. This is my logic. One, my legs didn't really ever get cold. It wasn't that drafty.
I'm that way.
It just wasn't that drafty. And I was in the 90s, so our shorts went below our knee. They went between our knee and our calf, and our ankle.
Got some Jinko.
Jinko
shorts. Yeah.
No, they were mostly like basketball shorts, but or like cargos. It was the 90s, man. Yeah. But it went between your knee and your ankle. So to my credit, there was only 4 inches of my leg exposed.
They're basically high waters.
Yes. Yeah. And the reason I would do that is I'd rock my shoes, and I didn't care about like if I had my nice Jordans on, I'd wear them in the snow because everybody knows snow doesn't mess up your shoes.
Yeah.
You get them sprayed down. Snow doesn't really mess up your shoes. It keeps them clean, actually.
Just water.
So I'd be like, man, I need to walk out here in the snow with these Jordans because like the bottoms of them are all brown. So they would clean them up.
Yeah.
So I'd wear my shoes in the snow, but I didn't like wearing pants because then they get wet. And then it sits on my shoes all day.
Yeah.
That was one of my pieces of logic. Okay. Now, if you look back into the 90s, you think, well, that's actually kind of genius because I kept my shoes nice. It's all about the shoes, right? Yeah. So my boys, people say, man, y'all spend so much money for kids' shoes. But this is the thing. If I buy my boys a pair of like middle line shoes, I'll have to buy them again in December or January.
Oh, yeah.
It's just what it is. No, I'm not saying middle line. I'm saying like when you pay like a lot of money for some of these shoes that are a little more expensive, I'm not just talking about like the brand. I'm talking about like a particular shoe. They make them different.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't, and I'm just full of it. But like last year, told Caden, you get these particular shoes. So we got like the LeBrons or whatever.
Yeah.
They were really expensive, but he kept them clean. Because I said, you get one pair all year. Dude was scrubbing them down in the afternoons if they got dirt on them. He wore them all the way through the school year, never had another pair of shoes, and then he wears them now.
Yeah.
And it's like teaching him, like, you get one pair. So this year I told him, you get one pair. So yeah, we spend money on them, but we're not buying 2 and 3 a year. And before you spend 50, 60, 70 bucks, I mean, he's in like men's shoes throughout the year. You buy 3 pairs, you're in at 200, 250 bucks for 3 pairs of shoes. Not because they just get worn out. Like legitimately the bottom would fall off.
Yeah.
Or like the side strap just doesn't strap anymore. I'm like, it's not a functional shoe. It's not a matter of. And so that's kind of the way I do with my boys. Like I'm big on taking care of the stuff that you get. And so for me, I'm a shoe head anyway. So like I take care of my shoes. Like people say, man, those shoes are awesome. Where'd you get them? I was like, bro, they're like 5 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I get that all the time. There's a pair of Air Maxes that look like something from the 80s. I got them 5 years ago on a like closeout sale at Finish Line or something. And they're like the purples and the teals, the turquoise. Now they're like, everybody wants them, but they look brand new, but I've had them for 5 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But my boys, I teach them, take care of your stuff. And anyway, shoes, it's funny enough, people kind of get on people about shoes, but there are people who are shoe heads that like with my boys, they take really good care of their shoes because I tell them this is all you're getting for the year. And I've actually learned, it's actually kind of taught them to be responsible instead of just, I told Rylan the other day, he got a pair of the Jordan 1s, and I said, and they're sweet. I mean, they're like, they got the gold on them and all this stuff. And I said, bro, don't ever wear these in the grass. And he looks at me like, what? Because they have to do recess in elementary.
Yeah.
I'm like, when you wear these, man, you don't wear them through puddles. And so like, he's like, okay, I get that. You know, because now they're like, well, they keep the boxes. But it's teaching them to take care of their stuff.
Yeah,
you know, like
sure.
you have them for 1 year.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I used to always rock my shoes to the pencil sharpener.
Oh, yeah.
Let everybody see them.
Yeah. I didn't necessarily live that life, but I was shoe. If shoes last a year for me, that's impressive.
That's what I'm saying.
I wear shoes hard.
Me too. and me too. And that's where I told Kate and like I told my boys, like, hey, these are for school and you can wear them to church, but nowhere else. If it's not like you're not wearing these to go out and play, like you know, like it's and I don't know, it's one of those things for me where I grew up like that. Like I loved shoes, so and hats. Those are like my two things. So I feel like it's helped them in that, and it sounds weird, but it has actually helped them take care of some of their stuff because like they'll wear stuff that until they grow out of it, it actually is in pretty good shape for the most part because they just take care of it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So and even my younger kids now are all into shoes. Like they got shoes. Asher was like showing me, got some Jordans, and but they'll take care of them. You know. Well, no, Asher may not. But so I'm not a big like you got to get this, but when they ask for nicer things, I'm like you get one pair for the whole year. And some people might say, well, I get my kid one pair no matter what. We tried it. It just never worked. Yeah. Like our kids were in and out of them, like you said.
Yeah, we definitely have the like, hey, these are shoes that you have to take care of, and then we'll buy you like cheap Walmart shoes.
Oh yeah,
that you can just run around in.
Yep.
Yeah.
And actually, even those I had to go start getting Caden like other ones because it would 2 months. They fall apart because like he's hard on them. He's on concrete all the time, playing out with his friends. It's just,
well, he's always going.
Always going. You know how it is.
That's how Aiden is.
Yeah,
his shoes, the fronts of them. Like literally, the fronts of his shoes are all like from riding his bike and just dragging his feet.
Any parent out there knows exactly what I'm talking about. You can't keep up financially with the shoe demand of your kids, and I got 4 of them.
Yeah.
So you drop $500 on shoes or more for school.
Yeah. You
got 4 kids. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
and you know, Caden, you know, he wants his Crocs. I promised him Crocs this summer and never got them because we just haven't, just didn't. And so I actually lost in a game to him and Rylan, so I owed him some stuff.
How's that feel?
Well.
Should we even ask what you lost in?
Yeah, yeah, for real. It was. We were at All Stars and we were camping. We were RVing, and we were playing. I forget what game it was. It was something about. I said, if I don't do this, I'll get you this. It was one of those things where I was just talking trash, and it slapped me in the face. Yeah. They never win. But you know that one time, everybody say, "Maybe you don't let your kids win." Heck no, I don't let them win.
No, they gotta earn it.
They have. Bro, they're going to be beating me the rest of my life. So the front end of theirs, I'm going to make sure they have in the back of their mind that dad's a baller.
Exactly.
You know? So if you have one memory and you think of school, what's your fondest memory? Do you have a fond memory?
Oh, gosh.
Other than when you met your wife?
Yeah, I did meet my wife at school and church. I would say, so I was voted most artistic. So in my high school...
pretty good group of discerning students.
Middle school years, let's just forget about those. Let's just throw
for everybody
those away.
out there. Everybody out there, we all are going to forget your middle school years.
Yeah,
our teeth are bigger than our mouth. You get like one hair under your armpit,
Yeah.
and you like everything changes.
It's just awkward.
Like world falls apart.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
very awkward.
Yeah. I have a mustache in middle school that I'm ashamed of to this day. I don't know why would anybody just tell me to shave it? It wasn't even a mustache. It was like blonde hairs
Just a
that turned
couple
black.
hairs.
They weren't. Yeah. I was like, to this day, if my kids have one of those pop out, I'm like, bro, cut that.
Yeah.
Just trust me. You will be thankful in 20 years when you look at these photos that dad made me cut this.
For sure.
It is not a, it's
But I had
it's not a status thing. Just trust me.
I had an art teacher, Miss Hoopengardner. She's like the best teacher ever.
First of all, that name alone sounds like she's really creative.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. She would give me haircuts in the middle of class. And then basically,
like
so
it.
in 4 years of high school, I took like 7 art classes. And she would like sign special permission forms for me for the principal. She would just make up art classes that didn't even exist. Like, yeah, you can take studio art too.
Is Miss Hoopengardner still there?
No, she's
I'd
not
say we may be
anymore.
indicting
She's there
her.
for a long time. Yeah, not anymore. She's since retired.
Yeah, okay.
But everyone knew she's like the best teacher ever. And yeah, so that was my I didn't even use my locker because most of the time I had like art in the morning and then art as my last class. And so I would just leave my book bag in her class.
So she was kind of like your team mom.
Yeah, she's awesome. And so most especially into my junior and senior year, it was like nothing was due. She was like, just do a painting or something by the end of the semester. So I was sitting there with my CD player and just listen to
I think Miss
CDs.
Hoopengardner didn't really want to work either, though. Which
She's a great teacher.
I
though.
respect that.
But I was like in a class with other freshmen, basically. 'cause it
No,
was
but
a
I feel
made-up
that
class.
as a teacher, when you know you got a kid that's really more advanced than what you're teaching to, and you're like, just start being creative. That's one thing I really appreciated about when I went through my master's program. So this was weird. Undergrad, I struggled more than I did in my master's or my doctorate program because in undergrad, it was like you're being tested on stuff all the time, right?
Yeah.
You have to take tests, you have to write little papers. Your master's program, they said, well, now we're teaching you how to create content. So now it's
That's
about
good.
creating content, not just about retaining it. And I didn't really know what the catch was going to be with the doctoral program, but at the end of it, they said, this is all about perseverance.
It's good.
This is all about you being able to do something this difficult when life is this busy and you sustain. Because I was talking to Pastor Brandon, pastor here at Palms BP. He told me, I don't remember the statistic, but it's staggering. And this may be, I don't know how this, but it's close to this. He said something like 40% of people finish the doctorates that they start. He said there's a statistic that if you take a break after the first like 2 years or something,
Oh, wow.
it goes down drastically the amount of people that actually finish.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that doctoral programs, it wasn't about how tough they were as much as it was about people actually finishing them. But I know I felt like that senioritis in the last 4 months. I had 3 classes left, and it took everything I had to finish. You know,
Yeah.
Casey's finishing her master's right now, and I know she's in senioritis. It's like every type of a keypad, you feel like you're ripping your teeth out. So,
Yeah.
yeah, my fondest memory of school was finishing 2 weeks ago.
There we go. Yeah.
I feel like I'm just now done. I'm like,
Fresh.
and it's like, okay, what's next? And it's like nothing,
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
I don't want to do anything else. I don't want to do anything else. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. But I'm like, dude, yeah, I'll be 41 next month, and I'm like, I think I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't want any more masters or doctorates. I say that, but I just don't want anything else. I'm done. So it was great. I'm grateful for it. I didn't do it just to do it. I did it because it was something I was looking for. But I'm grateful. But yeah, I like school, man. I like my fondest memories were always the shoes, the clothes, the fits. I love the
Yeah.
fits. You nothing like going on the first day and having your trapper keeper, your your binders,
Yeah.
and you got your new pencils and everything smells fresh, and all your papers and your backpack and everything's just tightened, buttoned down, tied up, and looking clean.
So you really enjoyed it. as
Oh,
well.
I love the whole experience
Yeah.
of the first day of school. I felt so fresh, baby. Coming out
Yeah.
the door with your new kicks on, your new gear, everything you had on. You had to take the tags off. You got your
Yeah.
backpack, all your gear. You go into school the first day, you just kind of checking everybody out, seeing, man, I did have a moment in 7th grade though. Speaking of middle school, where I wore like the same pair of shorts. It was like I think they were. Was it Bugle Boy? Is that what it was called?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it Bugle Boy?
Bugle. Yeah.
That ain't
something like
right.
that. Yeah.
Is that a
wasn't
real
it?
thing? Why does that not sound right?
I mean, bugles are also.
Yeah, Bugle Boy.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I'm
I
looking
think
it up.
so. Yeah, anyway. So I had a pair of Bugle Boy shorts that I love, man. And so y'all know the Bugle Boy represent 90s, baby. And I wore them like 2 out of the 2 or 3 days a week. The kids started making fun of me, and I had no idea that like people watched, like was actually looking at my shorts. And but the thing was, they were like turquoise. So now I realize why. I was like, oh, my bad. So I mean, that was scarring.
That's a real thing, Bugle Boy.
Yeah, it was scarring. I was like, man, I gotta mix this up. But we didn't have a ton, so it was like I didn't have 70 pairs of shorts. Like at that time, we lived in a parsonage. My dad was pastor. My mom was a vice president of marketing at a bank for a lot of my life. Then we moved to Western Maryland. She worked basically as the youth pastor in my church and like really didn't get paid much, if anything. And my dad was the pastor, and so it was like all of a sudden, so the stuff we did have, man, I rocked it hard too.
Oh yeah.
All right, so something I would like to bring up to our listening audience. I saw something the other day that was I don't disturbing, maybe a thing, but it said somebody posted about about recently performing a coffee enema.
What?
Yeah, it is what it sounds like.
Where do you get this information?
Unfortunately, it was on social media.
Gotcha.
So it's a real thing. I don't want to say it's a trend or a fad, because one, that makes it kind of releases permission for people to do it. It's not a trend or a fad. It's something that I believe it's a extremely small minority of people in the world are doing, but it's all part of that health wellness. Do you think? Hey babe, what are you doing? Is the coffee ready? Yeah, but I'm brewing it for my enema. So I brewed a fresh pot just for my enema. So
that's a different level of.
Well, just so people understand out there, kind of where we're at.
Is it just a faster way of getting the kick from coffee?
No.
Okay.
No. A coffee enema is a type of colon cleansed used in alternative medicine. So during the procedure, a mixture of brewed, caffeinated coffee and water is inserted into the colon through the the rectum, is what it says. Coffee enemas may have originated from German physicians searching for a cancer treatment. Hence the word searching for a cancer treatment in the early 1900s. What's a real thing? Somebody posted the other day, just finished my coffee enema, and they had a picture of the bag with like the tube. And I was thinking, I just don't understand it. Yeah, what? I just want to know the thought process. You're like, you know what? We go to the doctors to get cold medicine, or we go to the doctors when we get the flu. If we have a bacterial infection, we go to get penicillin or whatever it is. What's the main drug everybody gets now whenever you have like a strep throat or something? It's like the main.
Oh yeah.
So we go to the doctors to get that, or if we get pink eye, whatever it is, people go for antibiotics, but we feel like we have the medicinal ability and knowledge to give ourselves enemas with coffee that we've brewed.
Yeah.
It's just staggering to me, the lengths that people will go to try to stay healthy.
Yeah.
I just wonder if in 100 years what this conversation is going to be. That's really where I'm at. Yeah. Listen, if you do a coffee enema and it works for you, I'd love to hear about it. Now, I don't need illustrations. I don't need any before and after face pictures of like, I'm so happy now, I feel free. I just want to know if you've done it's worked for you. Just let us know. Just simply like, hey, these work. Y'all should really stop hating on it. I'm not hating on it. I'm just hating on the practice of it. That this is something that we would do at home and be comfortable in shooting coffee into our colon. And people say that when they're done, they feel mental clarity. And I'm thinking, no, that's called adrenaline, because you've just shot 12 ounces. You've just shot 12 cups worth of caffeinated coffee in your butt. That's not mental clarity. That's called adrenaline, dog.
Yeah. It's
a real thing, dog.
I don't even know if I have words right now. Like, I don't know.
I didn't think you would.
I don't know what to add to this.
Hey, honey, is the coffee done? Yeah, but I brewed that coffee to shoot in my butt, so you can't have that.
What?
Isn't that crazy, man?
Put some cream and sugar in it.
So let me yeah. Oh, I already mixed the cream in with that. Dang it. So this is the thing. I just want you to let's just go somewhere for a minute. Let's talk about 2094.
Oh man.
Okay. All right, 2094, generations behind us. There used to be a practice called bloodletting.
Yeah.
That's where the barbers were known as barber surgeons, for those of you who aren't aware. And the reason that barber shops have the white and the red spinny things is because the ones that had the red let people know that they were bloodletting surgeons in those barbershops, which meant you could come in, and if you were sick or diseased, they could do bloodletting there, which essentially means they cut an artery and you bleed out the infection. That was the concept. Now, when you and I hear that, we think the barbershops are just really creative, and they created this incredible white and red spinny thing outside of their barbershop that it signifies a barber's in, you can get your hair cut. That's not where it originated. It originated with people that were barbers, surgeons. You could go get your hair cut, and beside you a guy is getting an artery cut off and bleeding all over the place to let out the infection.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it.
Mm-hmm.
We hear that now, and that's ridiculous. That's not medicinal. It's not common sense. There's nothing in that that's been proven to help in health-wise, right? The only thing you're doing is creating a place where you're going to need a blood transfusion. But it says in medieval times, professionals were known as barbers, surgeons, which is just what it sounds like. They weren't just there to give customers a trim. They'd also perform minor surgery, pull teeth, and amputate limbs. How is amputating limbs minor surgery? Can I ask that question?
Yeah.
It says, according to the PB, but one procedure, bloodletting, led to barbershop polls you see today. So this is all a part of it. I'm wondering if in 2094, our great-great-great-grandkids are going to be sitting around, and they're going to be doing a podcast or whatever they call it, and they're going to be saying, our ancestors in the early 2000s would shoot coffee in their rectums to clear out their colons.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just asking. The only reason I bring this up today is because I'm wondering if I've just gotten really bitter and, angry as a human, or if this is common sense. I want to know where people are at. If you could please let me know.
Yeah.
Where are we at in this? Is this something that I'm just not with the times, and that, all this stuff we do at home to care for ourselves, that this is really like the wave of the future, and I'm just missing something? Because this, to me, is the most unbelievable. I don't understand how people could be comfortable shooting anything into their body.
Yeah.
In this way, feeling like they're doing something great. Around your colon, I cannot imagine this being a healthy thing. No matter what science is telling me, I cannot imagine shooting a foreign substance into my colon at home and feeling like I'm doing so. I just can't imagine.
I don't know. It's weird. Literally, this whole time we've had this conversation, I'm like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
It's a real thing.
I don't.
This is a real thing, people. This is the world we're living in right now. Now, if you do this, I am not condemning you. I am not saying you should be ashamed of yourself. I'm simply asking you why.
Yeah.
Can you please help me understand?
Because my first thing would be
because I don't.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying this is unbelievable.
Yeah. Because my first thought would be, because I read the main reason is to just basically it's a cleansing thing.
I mean, I know the main reason. It still don't make any sense.
But what I'm saying is, there's got to be another way. I feel like that's my brain always is like.
I think that's the title of today's podcast. There has to be another way.
There has to be another way.
That's the title.
There's something else we can do, right?
Go to the bathroom.
We're not all the way down here that this is the only option left, right?
No.
That's what I feel like.
This is
a
unbelievable.
Doctor telling you to do this? Is this
do you think a doctor would ever prescribe us to clean out our colons at home with coffee?
Yeah. Well,
do you think that would be something a medical doctor would say? You know what? There's an article. One of the first articles is why coffee enemas are not the way you should go.
Yeah.
Well, I respect whoever wrote that for no other reason than the fact that it is not safe for humans to shoot things into their bodies at home without medical supervision.
Yeah. Well, I started typing it in, just coffee enema, which may be something you shouldn't be Google searching. Anyway, but it autofilled to kit. These kits you can buy for at-home kits.
I'm out of here. This I'm out of here. I just can't do this. I cannot live in this world anymore. The Bible talks the wisdom of the world is complete folly. And this is the point. I've moved away from help me to understand to saying this is the point. I'm on an island right now. I'm on a soapbox. Yeah. I'm just asking us as people, what have we gotten to think that we really know what's best and that we can just fix everything in the comfort of our own home? Everybody's like, well, it's just natural. If you really believe in natural remedies and that's all you believe and you think that God planted this stuff for us, I'm not saying he didn't. I'm simply asking you, when you have a heart attack, can you please tell the surgeon before they saw your chest open and rip your ribs back and palpitate your heart and begin to put things back together to give you life, can you please tell them, hey, doc, no anesthesia here. I'm all natural. If you're going to do this, I want to feel everything. You don't do that.
Yeah.
Why? Because God gives us knowledge and wisdom. And listen, if you do coffee enemas and it's changed your life, then good for you.
Yeah.
I'm just asking. I don't want to get old and bitter. But when I hear stuff like this, I feel like I have opinions on it that maybe aren't warranted. Maybe I'm just an old bitter guy and they're like, you're just not with the times. If that's the case, I get it. And I'm sorry. And I apologize in advance. I just don't see this. I don't understand how these things in our world make any sense to anybody, but we continue to do them.
Do you think there's a level of like, there's this realization, because again, I think not all of us here drink coffee. We know, like,
or shoot it in our butt.
That's true. Resident BP over there, he doesn't drink coffee. But do you think there's this level of, coffee's great, what else can we do with it? Like, do you think that
I just want to know the guy who first tried it.
Exactly.
Like, you know what? I love coffee. Like a sleepover with your adult friends.
like
let's just shoot coffee in our butt and see what happens. Like, it's really, I want to know who did it and then who did the research on it. All right, it's full in there. Like, get some pictures.
How do you feel now?
Yeah. Full.
This is so weird.
It's the real thing. The man's found a kit.
I know.
The man found a kit.
Yeah, you can buy it on Amazon.
Oh, we got to move on from this.
Do it
This
tomorrow.
is too much of a soapbox.
Prime shipping.
All I'm saying is if you listen to this and you do coffee enemas, please let me know why.
Yeah.
And I won't mention your name, but I have nothing in me that understands this, that wants to. I would say if this was between life and death, and I knew that it was medically proven that if I didn't do it, life was over, then your boy would buy a kit. But there is nothing in me that is going to try this.
The worst part about this whole conversation
or
is
recommend it.
I've been drinking coffee.
Well, dude, so the worst part of that, I drank coffee before we came on here, and I seriously feel like I can pee my pants right now. I have to go so bad. And it's making it worse because I just keep thinking about how full you would feel with the whole pot of coffee in your around your colon. Just hold it in. Just hold it in. It's helping. All right, so workers were fired after complaining. Workers have been fired at this one organization after been complaining about prayer sessions, and they went after the boss and they ended up getting awarded $50,000. The prayer sessions were required. They started at 10 minutes long. They ended up at 45 minutes, and then the boss said, he started taking attendance, and then eventually it got to the point where he fired them because he said they weren't, the right fit for the company, and they were. But it says employers who sponsor prayer meetings in their workplace, they have a legal obligation to accommodate employees whose personal religious beliefs conflict with the company's practice. My question is, this is Christianity. I don't think Christianity is the right word. This is a perfect example of, I'm a pastor. I love people. I believe everything in my life revolves around Jesus because he is the only answer. I don't care what anybody says. I don't need opinions. Your opinions matter to me. I'm grateful that you have one, and I like to hear people's opinions because there's a story that goes with that. And the stories are valid. So your story on whether or not you believe in Jesus is valid because it's yours. Doesn't change the fact he's everything he says he is, and he's the truth, and he's a miracle worker, and he's a hope dealer, and he's the King of Kings. Doesn't change any of that. I know that he is that. And it's not just because of my life experiences would tell me that he's not real because of the sexual abuse and things I went through. My healing experience would tell you that he's more real than any experience I've faced in this world physically. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So I just don't understand why Christians have for so long had the approach, and I don't even know if Christian's the right word. So I'm going to be very careful because I don't want to indict anybody or throw a tag. But I just don't understand why our approach has always been, let's right after the coffee enema talk, let's judge people or let's force what we believe on others. Because the reality is this: when people see how you live, I think it's easier to force what we believe on others than it is to live in a way that people want what we have.
Yeah.
I don't live so that people want what I have. I live so that people see like there's hope in your life.
Yeah.
And if you want, I'll tell you about it. But I just want you to know you're loved. And if they think that's from me, that's fine. Because eventually you stick around me long enough. It's not that I just preach Jesus everywhere, but I would hope my life without saying his name represents something bigger than humanity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I just think as Christians, like, why we have this need to, the generation, and I'm not saying our generation is definitely different in this because we're trying to get them to believe, generations in front of us, like people have to believe this way. That's why politics are such a rage thing. It's like, you're not a Christian if you vote this way.
Yeah.
And God is so much bigger than beliefs. He's so much bigger than denominations. He's so much bigger than how you grew up or where you're at now. He's so much bigger than that. Like the Bible's clear. Nothing, and this is my favorite verse, nothing can separate you from the love of God. No height or depth, no angel or demon, no fear of today, worry about tomorrow. Nothing can separate you from the love of God. And so I just like, as Christians, think, why do there people who feel like, well, I'm not going to sell this cake?
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have to, but I'm just saying, why do we feel like we have to take a stance against sin that people have in their life instead of loving people and just knowing that we all are sinners? Yeah. Sure, it's at different degrees, but we're all sinners.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I agree. They're like, well, would you do this type of wedding? Would you do this or this? It's like, well, we all have free will to do what we feel is right. And I get that, right? I think my bigger picture is, like, this is a perfect example of, like, you're going to do things my way while you're here. And it's like, nobody ever found Jesus that way.
No.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So just
I think I go back, you've said this a lot, is that, especially if that other party, so if you have a party that's, again, claims to be Christian or Jesus follower, or whatever you want to call it, and then you have another party involved in that doesn't. You've said this many times, where it's like, yeah, they don't claim to be Jesus followers. Like, I'm not judging them off of the basis of something that they claim to be, and they're not acting in that way. Mm-hmm. Like, there is a level of, I do think that being a Jesus follower in that community, not that we're judging one another, but we're holding one another accountable. But it's very hard for me to hold someone accountable to something they don't claim to be.
Yeah, well, the Bible says don't.
Yeah,
like Paul
exactly.
says, hey, the people in the church, hold them accountable, because we're like all trying to do this together. But the people outside, they're not claiming to be anything, so let them live.
Yeah.
It's not like once you get in the church, you're judged. No, judgment is saying, judgment is saying I'm better than you. Mm-hmm. Accountability is saying, hey, I love you.
Yes.
And like, I want to do this together. Accountability is saying I have flaws in my life, and I need you to hold me accountable. And I love you so much, I'm willing to hold you. And the Bible says, like, those words from a friend that grow us are better than anything.
Yeah.
Like Proverbs tells us that. Like, those corrections from a friend are more valuable than anything.
Yeah.
And it's like, you need that.
Yeah. So it's almost like this within the Christian community, there's love with accountability. But as soon as you step out of that, guess what's left? Love.
That's it.
Love is what's left.
Yep.
So just love people.
Yep.
Again, doesn't mean you agree. Doesn't mean you have to, like, become like the world. It doesn't mean any of that. It's just love people.
Well, and accountability doesn't mean I'm pointing out every sin in your life. Accountability means, like, is more of how are you instead of this is what you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
It's like, what's going on with you, man? We always told people back in the day with our church, we said when people are, like, slowing down to serve or they're getting there late, instead of saying, well, you need to be here at a certain time, say, hey, like, what's going, like, is there something I can do to help? If sometimes it's somebody with 2 or 3 kids by themselves, like, whatever it may be, let's find a way to help them instead of expect something from them that they're having trouble giving. And it's the love of, like, if somebody's wanting to serve more, how can we accommodate them? How can we help them be more a part of the church or whatever it may be? Yeah. If somebody's not showing up when they sign up, well, they signed up for a reason. So let's see what's going on in their life. Let's actually look into their life and look at them as a person and not somebody who's just serving. You know what I mean? Because that's what they are.
Absolutely.
And that's accountability is love.
Yeah.
And so, well, I have a final thought real quick.
All right. You got me on that one.
Got him.
Here's my final thought.
Nailed it.
We good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Here we go. So I got Kate and I had a conversation a while back, and this is what it said. I said, hey, what's your passcode for your phone? I'm trying to get your old phone fixed for Rylan. Now, this was, 10, it was like in the morning, some point, 9 o'clock, 9:30. He would have been at school. And it said, leave me alone. I'm at school, and I'm a very good kid, and I don't want my phone taken away. Also, you should listen to Mom more. She's awesome and the best, and she is just so wise and brilliant. I love her so, so much. So you should buy her macaroons or something to show her how much you love her.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
I said, Casey, get off of Caden's phone.
Yeah, exactly.
And said, this is not Casey. Not at all, Dad. I just love Mom so much. Have a great day at work. Bye. You know what I wrote? You can't spell macaroons. I'm brilliant like Mom. Hey, do something great for your spouse. Love your kids. Hey, nobody ever said, I wish I would have spent less time with my kids. Love your family. Love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Lord, I pray for each and every listener, each and every family. I pray they would know that nothing can separate them from the love of God. No height or depth, angel or demon, fear today, worry about tomorrow. God, we love you. Thank you for always going before us. And we submit, we surrender in Jesus' name. Amen. Love you guys. We'll see you next week, Sunday, 9:30, Palms Church, online, in person. We'll see y'all soon.